Hello, my name's Devin Carter, and this is Barely Freedom, a video blog by me that talks about all the things that I feel are important. Um, First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming here. We're going to get right into the news here in 1 second. We got three short stories I'm going to share with you. But first of all, this is my first video, so welcome. I'm glad you're watching this. I'm glad everyone who watches this is watching it. Very excited you're here. You're the reason I'm doing this. Um, One other thing I'd like to say, I am not a very articulate person. That's the main reason why I decided to do a video blog versus a written blog, because I feel it's a chance for me to hone a skill. I figure it's a chance for me to become better at public speaking and expressing my opinions in a way that doesn't come off very Sarah Palin-ish. She's got some sound ideas, um, and some sound beliefs, but she's very poor at articulating them. And it's something I want to work on. I'm not saying I agree with everything Sarah Palin says. I really don't. But I'm just saying I have that Sarah Palin syndrome. I'm not very capable of expressing my opinion in a way that I feel justifies what my opinions are and the information that makes them concrete. The I have very sound, educated opinions. I just don't have the ability to articulate them. I want to fix that. So what I'm doing is a blog. Yay! Starting off with our first news story. The Telegraph in I really don't know where the mic is on this. I'm going eventually, as I do this, I'm going to get better equipment. I need about $150 for the mic that I want, and I'm going to be getting that very soon. I hope, probably here in the next couple months, and the sound quality get a lot better. But right now, I'm using the default sound and the default camera on my laptop. Very, very sorry you have to put up with that. The Telegraph in UK says the Israeli minister warns of a 30-day war with Iraq. A strike on, Iran, not Iraq. A strike on Iran's nuclear sites would spark a 30-day war with missile attacks on Israel's cities, as many as 50 dead, 500 dead, according to Israeli Prime Minister responsible for preparing home defenses. Martin Villeneuve, who stepped down as Home Front Defense Minister to become ambassador to China, said the country was ready as never before. The assessments are for a war that'll last 30 days on a number of fronts. He told the Marev newspaper. It could be that will be less fatalities. It could be there will be more fatalities. That is the scenario that we are prepared for, according to the best experts. Speculation is grown that Israel is planning a unilateral attack on Iran's nuclear program, or that it is using the question to increase pressure on Barack Obama to launch an American strike. Going to stop right there. I do not like Barack Obama. I'm not the big flag waving Barack Obama socialist supporter. Not that guy. If that offends you, you're probably not going to like what I have to say here, but I love that he is not jumping into the Iran situation. That is one big thing that I think he is going to have over Mitt Romney. Um, I think I don't like Romney. I don't like Obama. I like Obama a lot less, mostly because of his economic and social policies. I love his. I don't think I'll say I like his foreign policies because they're kind of mismatched. He chooses when he does and doesn't want to support people, when he does and doesn't want to go to war. And I'm with the Ron Paul foreign policy, and a lot of you guys don't like that. I'm for bring them all home. There's no reason we need to be in any of these places. Especially the 70,000 troops we have in Germany for no reason, and the 20,000 in Italy, and the 40,000 in Japan. It's like we never pulled out of World War II. What the hell's going on there? Anyway, thank you, Barack Obama, for not invading Iran. You're awesome. However, if you're just waiting until after the election to do so, you're a douchebag. That's what I'm saying. Israel is convinced that archenemy Iran is trying to build nuclear weapons, dismissing Tehran's claims that the nuclear program is for civilian purposes. All the intel they've gathered says it's for civilian purposes. Iran says it's for civilian purposes. Even though they can't prove it's for weapons, they're just saying, we're pretty sure it's for weapons. I mean, our own intelligence officers say it's not for weapons. America's intelligence operatives say it's not for weapons. But you know what? We're just going to assume it's for weapons. Israel considers nuclear-armed Iran to be a moral danger. Iran backs anti-Israel militants with funds and weapons, and its leaders often calls for Israel's destruction. Kind of true. They do back anti-Israeli groups, such as Palestine, which is a country, by the way. And they have a reason to be anti-Israel. Just gonna say, that whole conflict was propped up after World War II and has been proliferating ever since. And both sides have an ounce of legitimacy. Um, Israel is not just squeaky clean in that. I wish everyone could just get along, but you can't just blame everyone but Israel. Israel has some fault in that. And I think it's a legitimate purpose for someone to support Palestine just as we support Israel. I wish we didn't support Israel at all. I wish we didn't support anyone at all. But yeah, Iran supporting Palestine does not mean they're going to invade Israel. And I'll get into that a little bit later. In this latest pronouncement, Iranian Supreme Commander Ali Khamenei says Israel will disappear from the quote scene of geography. Addressing war veterans in Tehran on Wednesday, he said that Iran considers its religious duty to save the Islamic country Palestine from the clutches of the Zionist occupiers. We are going to save Palestine does not mean we're going to invade Israel. It sounds more like to me like if we were to say, hey, we support Canada, therefore if you invade Canada, we're going to hurt you. It sounds more like that. I'm going to be honest with you. Saying we're going to save one country does not mean we're going to invade another, even if those two oppose each other. Two very different statements. Israel's leaders have indicated an attack is a possibility if they conclude the international community has failed to halt the Iranian nuclear program. The international community. Save us, UN. You are our only hope. Mr. Villeneuve did not elaborate on how he reached his assessments, but his office relies on intelligence and other assessments about Iranians' weapons capabilities and Israeli susceptibility. Defense Minister Imad Barak has also said that Israeli death toll could be in the ranges of 500 in such a conflict. That's just 500 even, not 500,000 or anything like that. Which, I mean, 500 deaths is still 500 deaths, but just saying it's not a huge amount. Just as the citizens of Japan realize that they can have earthquakes, so the citizens of Israel have to realize that if they live here, they have to be prepared to expect missiles on the home front, Villeneuve said. It's not pleasant for the home front, but decisions have been made, and we have to be ready. At the news briefing in Washington on Tuesday, Leon Paulnetti, the U.S. Defense Secretary, reaffirmed the U.S. assessment that Israel has not yet decided whether to strike. The U.S. military chief, Glenn Martin-Despy, echoed a widely held assessment that Israel's operation would only set back, not destroy Iran's nuclear project. It's a very good call. I agree with that 100%. When your intelligence says they're not doing something, you have to assume they're not doing it. And to be honest, we've had nuclear weapons since the 40s, and we keep them as a quote-unquote nuclear deterrent, and we have a much bigger army and ability to hurt people than Iran does. Iran is in much more need of a nuclear deterrent, quote-unquote, than we are, because we can just go in and wipe them out. If we wanted to. If we chose to, we could carpet bomb that country into nothingness. We choose not to, and I'm glad we choose not to. But I'm just saying they have just as right to weapons as we do. Story number 2. This is from News Channel 7 in Roanoke, Virginia. Radford business owners declines request from Joe Biden's entourage to stop in store. The owner of Crumb and Get It says he does not agree with Obama's administration policies. Would you say no to the vice president? I like to think I would. I may not. Never been put in that position. I like to think I would. One River Valley business owner turned Vice President Joe Biden down. This might happen more than you think from both political parties. Most business owners just don't talk about it. The owner of Crumb and Get It did. Chris McMurray's bakery has been open only since May, barely three months. Wednesday morning, advanced teams from Vice President Joe Biden walked in. Um, I approached her. She said, "Joe Biden is coming today." Yay, Joe Biden. Crumb and Get It is a mom and pop store, literally. Chris and his wife Kelly run the place and need all the business they can get. McMurray said the vice president's entourage got to the point and made its pitch. She said we have selected Crumb and Get It to be his stop on his way to Blacksburg and was wondering if that was okay. Here's the part that might make other business owners cry. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, but essentially, I said, no offense to you or the campaign, but I just decline you guys coming in here. At that time, she said, "Are you sure? There's going to be a lot of press and a lot of activity," McMurray said. Why in the world would a new business owner say no to a photo op with the Vice President of the United States? McMurray said it was President Obama's recent remarks about small businesses and who built what. Very simply, you didn't build that, McMurray said. Speaking of small business owners and entrepreneurs across the country, and actually last night, my wife was up all night, no sleep. She worked a full 24 hours. That's one thing President Obama doesn't, I don't think he realizes about that statement he made. Whether he made it in error or whether he really stands by it, I'm not really sure. I believe he believes that. Um, but the people he made angry with that statement are the very hard-working, dedicated, voting class citizen. These are the people who have weight in their communities, that sway opinions, that work hard for things they believe in. And that's a bad demographic to have working against you. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I think that was a very bad move on his part, and it put me off to him a lot. I mean, I was already against him, but that just made me even madder. It just reaffirmed my beliefs that he does not believe in the capitalist society. Um, when Crumb and Get It said no, River City Grill, just around the corner, said yes and has pictures to prove it. We don't care about the politics. If you want to throw some libertarians in there as well, that's fine too. Stop in as well. Chess Bell said, just bring your money. That's a little hit at libertarians right there. If you want to throw some libertarians in there too, we don't care who comes in here. Back at the bakery, a couple of guys said they'd hoped to see Biden, but didn't care that the VP has been turned away. I mean, it really doesn't matter to me. Everyone has their own views, so I love the food here anyway. I agree. Everyone's different, so I would care less," said Spencer Critterton of Radford. Here's the backstory. We're told that shortly after Crumb and Get It told Biden's advance people no, the Secret Service walked in and told Chris McMurray, "Thank you for standing up and saying no." Then they bought a whole bunch of cookies and cupcakes. I wonder if they came in on their own accord because these are Secret Service members that, as individuals, support his decision to say no and possibly dislike the president, or if they came in there because, the Obama campaign and Joe Biden asked them to say, "Hey, we respect your decision even though you don't agree with us." I'm leaning towards the first one, but I would be interested to know what the truth was there. I think these are probably Secret Service men and women who said, you know, we agree with the fact that you don't want to be part of this, so they went and supported their business since they turned down a lot of business from the president. And if that's true, then kudos to you guys. If for some weird twist of fate, you Secret Service guys that went in there actually read this or see this, good job. Proud of you. McMurray said he was hoping folks will understand that he just doesn't want to be part of a photo op for an administration whose policies he does not agree with. Morals over money. Good job. Chris, I know you're in Roanoke, Virginia. I had to check that for a second. I just want to let you know that I agree with everything that I read right there, and that someone from Middle Tennessee has taken notice of what you've said and what you did. And I 100% agree with your actions. You're a good person, at least as far as this story is concerned. Morals over money every day. Take another drink before I start this story. Woo! Now, running a little bit longer on time than I wanted to, so I'm going to paraphrase this one. I'm also going to give you a little bit of backstory. Um, Holland, and I didn't get the state. Oh, it's a state in America. It's not Holland, the country. I think it's Holland, Missouri, maybe. Starts with an M. It's one of them states. There's a couple there who was handicapped, and their 13-year-old son decided, you know what? I'm going to open up a hot dog stand. Since my parents can't work and are incapable of bringing in income to support our family, and we've lost our house and we're currently homeless, I'm going to do whatever I can to get by. So he opens a hot dog stand in front of a sporting goods store, and the store owner even agrees to say, "Hey, you can you can even sell some of my products, and I'll give you commission on what you sell." It was a really good business opportunity for a young 13-year-old gentleman to have. He was going to learn a lot about business, and he was going to have the dignity of saying, "I'm providing for my family," and hey, he might even have been able to put a roof over his head. That's a good thing, right? Um, but then he got shut down by city inspectors and whatnot because of zoning violations and child labor laws. Here's an update on that story. Homeless family's son gets their business taken away from him. That's not bad enough at all. Stepfather of would-be teen hot dog vendor jailed. Douglas T. Johnson, stepfather of the boy who attempted to open a hot dog stand in Holland, is being held at Kent County Jail on a felony warrant of unspecified charges for being arrested Monday in Grand Haven. Johnson, 47, and his wife have been actively promoting the cause of Nathan Dzinski, I think I'm saying that right, the 13-year-old who was shut down by the city zoning official after setting up a hot dog cart in the parking lot of Reliable Sports on River Avenue across the street from City Hall. Johnson was moved late Tuesday to Kent County, where the warrant was issued with arraignments expected Wednesday. Charges are not revealed until arraignment. His wife, Lynette Johnson, said the charges are for practicing law without a license and stem from Douglas Johnson's work as a paralegal. He provides legal services up to a point, Lynette Johnson said, adding, "It's been a hell of 2 days." Now, it says this case stems from assisting a friend with some legal trouble. It's Michigan's state. According to Michigan's Constitution, it allows the defendant to choose who represents him. But apparently, if you're not a legal professional with a license, you have to file paperwork that states that, and they did not get that paperwork filed in a timely manner. Although his friend was aware that he did not have a um, medical license, he didn't have a license, not medical, a legal license. He did not have a license to practice law. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much what this stems down to. The guy also offers some accounting services, even though he doesn't have a accountant's license. But he is no longer physically able to work a physical job, and he has these other skills that he's acquired from other places that he does not have the money or the funding to get licensed for, because obviously a homeless person does not have the money to go get his legal license. He does not have the money to go get certified as an accountant, and they're taking him to jail for that. I mean, isn't that a little overbearing when someone has the skills to do something and the people who are employing them are aware that they are not certified by some form of the government, and they know that full and well going into their agreements and their business proceedings, and we arrest him for it. We arrest a homeless man who is trying to make ends meet to provide for his family in any way he can because he did not follow some government mandated way of doing business. Government regulations like that prevent business. It prevents a boy from having a hot dog stand. It prevents a man from providing legal and accounting services because he isn't licensed the way we say he should be. The fact is, people have inalienable rights that are God-given rights, and they're allowed to do what they want with their body, as long as they do not infringe on someone else's ability to do so themselves. If someone knows full and well that you have this much experience, that you are licensed by these people or not licensed by these people, and they still accept your services, that is a fair agreement. You should be able to provide legal services for someone if you know nothing about law, provided that they agree to it and that they know you know nothing about law. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is a horrible, horrible thing. It's an amazingly horrible thing that this man is being put in a cage. And some people take, oh, you spent the night in jail. They're just going to put him in jail for a little bit. It doesn't matter. If you're taking away someone's freedom, do you not understand what a cage is? That's what this is. It's a cage. I mean, I was reading another article and it was speaking that the number one charge that anyone in America has is resisting arrest. There are more resisting arrest charges than anything else in the world, and that angers me because there are so many victimless crimes here in the world that if I was to be charged with any of those, I would resist arrest. Because you are taking me to put me in a cage for something that I did that did not harm anyone. I really hate the current legal system in America. I really hate the current state of having victimless crimes and all of that. I'm going to leave you today with a quote of the day that I felt was very fitting considering our last two stories. It's a very regular one from Thomas Jefferson. We've probably all heard it. Those are governed best who are governed least. Not this day-to-day, we're going to make a new law a day and Congress has to be constantly in session to make sure that we can fix all the world's problems via legally. Government isn't going to fix most of our problems, people. You have to take responsibility for yourself. And our scripture of the day comes from James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who giveth to all men liberally and unabated, and abateth not. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not. It shall be given him. And what that means, more or less, is that if you have a spiritual relationship with God, and that if you trust God, and you search for something, in this case wisdom, he who searches for wisdom finds wisdom. I mean, that's pretty common sense. You're going to find what you work towards. If you search for prosperity, you're going to find prosperity, especially if you're a moral, God-driven person with God in your heart. He's going to help you reach your goals. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And you know what? If you ask God on a daily basis to have his will be done, to do what he feels is best, even if you fail, even if you don't acquire those things that God says he will deliver to you, there's probably a reason for that. Maybe God intends something else for you. You know, a lot of these people, there are a lot of people in this world who aren't successful, but I tell you what, they've had a more of an impact on my life than anyone else in the world. I can tell you aunts and uncles that can barely afford their rent payments that have had more of an impact on me in my life than the richest man in the world. I mean, I know very few rich people who have had a deep interaction with me. And while, in my life, I'm going to search for prosperity and I'm going to search for financial security, I'm going to try and provide for my family, there is something more there. And I know I'm getting off topic from the quote, but my point is, believe in God, and those who search for something are more apt to find it, especially when God's involved. He who seeks for wisdom will find wisdom. He who seeks for prosperity will find prosperity. The man who searches for water will find water. Yeah, you get it. Anyway, I think it's about enough time. About to hit 25 minutes here on the video. I'm very sorry for the quality. I'm using a webcam on my laptop and a microphone from the same. So, really, really sorry about the quality. I'm going to try and purchase a mic, a good one. That way, if you just don't even want to watch the video, you can hear me talk if you're interested in following me. And that's going to be here in a couple, hopefully here in a couple weeks, months, somewhere around there. God bless and have a great day. Hopefully you'll check back in next time I have one of these up. Thank you.